Did they logged off? Oh, no, they did. Okay, Mr. Hobson, we're still waiting on an attorney for you. I can't hear you.
Could you tell me what I'm being charged with?
I would like to know as well. I have you down here for contempt of court, but I didn't put you in contempt of court, so I would like to see, actually what's going on here.
I don't know nothing about that.
Me either. I didn't do it. So I'm hoping you'll provide a little information for me,
I understand.
as well as the prosecutor. Let's see. This could be-
That's right.
That makes sense.
That does make much more sense.
It says no report 30 days.
Oh, okay. Because I was trying to figure out when the last thing sounded familiar,
So
but
like, I
like,
definitely don't think it's court.
okay.
So, Mr. Hobson, it's not a contempt of court hearing. That was entered wrong. You're here to see if your competency report has been drafted or completed. Have you been interviewed by the forensic center yet?
Some guy came out to talk to me named Daniel Scalzi or something like that a couple of times
Just, yeah, he does.
from forensics. I got found incompetent.
Okay, let me see if I can find your report.
Can I talk to you?
I was wondering why, I said, I don't think he should be held in contempt of court, because he hasn't done anything in here.
So it's about the forensics.
Hey, I wanted to tell you too, so, my ton of people, one lots is still here, but he's been to. Even though Judge already something, somebody else as. Yes. Okay, so did we have that reference number already? Okay. Yeah, if you got it, I can intercept that real quick because the making them do it. Yeah, I'm right.
So long. Yes, yes.
No attorney on Rose. Rose?
Yeah.
That's Perkins. Rose. Rosie?
Hey, disregard that, 800 number.
Oh my God.
No, I'm gonna call ahead right now, but I have the reference number.
Mr. Hobson, just hold tight. We're still waiting. We called the forensic center and we called your lawyer. So we don't have a report, we don't have a lawyer, so we're just waiting for somebody to show up, somebody to call back. I think you're on mute.
Your Honor, do you want us to bring Mr. Hobson back later?
If you have other, cases to handle, yeah, can we call you all when we have the forensic center or his attorney, present?
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
So, Don?
iPhone, what is your name? The person just logged on with the iPhone and no camera, can you state your name, please? Okay. You want me to pick them up? Is that what you need?
Yes, yes.
We'll have that case for 10 o'clock.
Oh, wow.
Right, I was trying to see if the iPhone person would be logged on. Yeah, audio. What? Record? I mean, somebody- Good afternoon, good morning, Commissioner Report. Attorney White, good morning.
Good morning. Now, you know, I'm losing my mind, Your Honor, because when I logged back in, I paid attention to what I was looking at, and I saw I had to agree up in the right-hand corner. So that's why I was stuck on the page with the writing on it, because I hadn't agreed to be let into the courtroom. So I apologize, Your Honor.
Okay, because I was wondering, I don't really do waiting rooms, because I want everybody to come in.
Yes, I was trying to do too much this morning. Too many Zooms. Sorry.
Okay, that's fine. Mr. Hobson is here. We do not have a report from him.
Well, I called the forensic center yesterday to kind of find out what was going on. And as I informed the court before, Mr. Hobson was opined incompetent back in October. He was supposed to, October 5th of 2022 was the exact date. He was supposed to be transferred to the forensic center for treatment so that he could be restored to competency. It never happened. So the judge in Grosse Pointe was getting ready to issue a show cause to the forensic center. But I called them yesterday to know that that was going to happen because, you know, they hadn't done anything with Mr. Hobson. And the person that's in charge, her name is Holly, indicated that they don't have enough bed space. And so what they're doing is they're prioritizing. I don't know how, I take that back. I don't know how they're prioritizing it, but they don't have enough bed space. He's been on the waiting list for 5 months now. Once I told her that a show cause was going to be issued, she indicated that she's going to have a psychiatrist interview Mr. Hobson this week to determine whether he's still incompetent. Once that is done, it will take approximately 1 week for them to complete the report for the court. So he'll be interviewed next week, and then she said approximately 7 days from the interview date, they will do a report. If he is still incompetent, they're going to move him to the top of the list for a bed. So that is the status, Your Honor.
Okay, so what I want to do is schedule a date for March 10th and March 17th. So that'll give them a little more than a week to interview him. I want to make sure he's been interviewed by the 10th, because they said within 1
Okay.
week.
Okay.
And then 1 week later, a report provided.
Okay. So so how did you want to do the 10th? Because she didn't tell me what day they were going to interview him next week. So what court want me to do with that date?
I see, okay, so let's do the 17th and 24th then.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Your Honor. That would work.
Okay, so Mr. Hobson, can you hear? You're muted. Have the deputy unmute you.
Mayor Person?
Yep, I can hear you now. Did you hear what we were discussing, Mr. Hobson?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so it's getting a little bit out of hand with the time it's taking for you to be placed for treatment. So we're coming back on the 17th and the 24th. 17th, I am expecting a report from the forensic center. On the 24th, I'm expecting, 17th, I'm expecting you to have been interviewed, and the 24th, a report provided, so that you can either be treated or we can deal with this a different way. But I'm not gonna adjourn this on another 30 days because it's been too long, okay?
Yes, Your Honor. How you doing?
Thank you, Your Honor.
On the 17th, it'll be, let's do 9 o'clock, okay?
Yes, thank
Yes,
you,
sir.
Your Honor.
All right, you all both have a good day.
You too.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Oh, okay. Okay. I feel bad like this. kids missed a whole month, damn near a whole month of school while my kids live in my house, 3 weeks.
Yes, sir.
Attorney Perlman, good morning.
Good morning. The reason I've signed in, I was told I need, I have a client who's in custody and has a pending warrant, and I wanted to set up an arraignment date. And I was told the other day to just sign online. I could give the case number.
Yep, go ahead.
Okay, it's 21-055-72401 FY. It's for Kwame Thomas. And that's 210-557-2401 FY.
So the person with the iPhone, can you unmute your device and turn your camera on, please? Marcus Williams,
Yes, ma'am.
good morning.
Good morning.
I have you on the docket today. What type of case do you have?
This is my third Zoom, and I'm unaware what it's about, but what I got, you know what I'm saying, it was a traffic, I'm out on personal, but
So it's a traffic matter.
yeah, I believe so.
You should be in courtroom 337. Oh, Judge Marlena Taylor, courtroom 337.
Courtroom 337.
Yes, Judge Marlena Taylor.
All right, you know that meeting ID number?
It's 360-337-0000.
337, you say, right?
Yes, 337.
All right, appreciate it. Thank you, Your Honor.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, I have the ROA for your client, Mr. Thomas Kwame.
Yes, that is, that is my client. May I have a court date for an arraignment?
Tomorrow.
Thank you.
That work? Any problem?
I'm sorry, what was that?
9 o'clock.
You'll be coming in.
What date?
Tomorrow at 9.
Oh, tomorrow 9. That's, so he's in custody. There's, in Macomb County, so there need to be a writ.
Okay.
So we don't have a court date or anything else, but,
Okay, that complicated it. All right, let's see.
Sorry.
Only need a week. So we need a week to have a writ sent out county for Zoom. So March 9th?
That will work.
9 o'clock?
9 o'clock, you say?
Yes, you said Macomb County, correct?
Correct.
Okay, we'll have them written for Zoom.
Thank you so much. Have a great
You're
day.
welcome. You too. Might logging on.
Yeah, he said he was on, but it was asking for some sort of number that he didn't know what he was supposed to do. I just told him to join and stay right there.
I remember you told me that was his probation before. I remember saying every year.
So just someone down, he had trouble getting on.
We don't have our next case until 10:30, but
He's calling me again, so let's see.
if you want me to help the system, log on, I can do that. If they help.
Oh, where are you now? Okay. Saying he was where it asked for the ID.
He's using his phone or like dialing a phone number.
Using the phone, right? Yes.
Okay, tell him, I have that
Okay, I'm gonna give you the ID, now I want you to write it down.
information.
Hang up, log back in, put in this ID.
So I'm gonna write it down. He has to call a phone number and then put right.
Okay. Sure. Zoom ID number.
That's the phone number to call. He's not using the app.
Okay.
With the video, if he just dialing in, he has to dial that phone number.
The other using now this phone.
Morning.
Right.
Fine, how are you?
Better if my client was here.
Oh,
Now they see me now. They see me now.
I can hear you now.
Okay.
Can you state your name, please?
Bruno Bingham.
We're on the record, this is people of the state of Michigan versus Alberto D. and Bigham, case number 2355511. Mr. Bigham, in this case, is charged with count 1, motor vehicle unlawful driving away, count 2, stolen property, receiving and displaying the motor vehicle, habitual offender enforcement offense notice. Also, Mr. Bigham is charged on case number 2260806, and on this case, Mr. Bigham is charged with 1 count of motor vehicle unlawful driving away, the habitual offender enforcement offense notice, both set for a preliminary examination today. Appearances.
Good morning, Your Honor, Eric Decker, PA 5931 for the people.
Morning, Your Honor, James Anderson, P 31302, on behalf of Mr. Bigham on both files. Mr. Bigham, can you please state your name for the judge?
Audio disconnected. He's having a hard time.
Sorry, man, I don't know. I'm trying to get some plug this charger up.
Just stop pressing buttons. We can hear you. Can you hear us?
Yeah, I think the phone need to be charged.
Okay, so we got 3 minutes of this.
All right, here I go. I can hear you.
Good. Can you state your name for the record, please?
Alberto, I am Bigham.
Thank you. And Attorney Anderson, is it correct your client wants to waive both exams today?
Yes, I talked to him regarding both exams, explaining him his right to have a preliminary examination on both of them if he wanted to. And he, notwithstanding his rights, he wants to waive his exam on both files, understanding that he's going to be bound over to the circuit court for further proceedings on both.
Mr. Graham, is that correct?
Yes.
Did anyone force you or threaten you to waive your exam today? Mr. Bingham, can you hear me?
None, Your Honor.
I spoke with Mr. Bigham earlier about him allowing me to sign his name to waive the document.
Okay.
And as an officer of the court, I'll tell you that he said, yes, I have permission to sign his name. I have signed his name and presented it to the court. On both files.
I have that before me. I will give you the arraignment date. The AOI date, it'll be March 16th at 9 a.m. Mr. Bingham did state that everything you said, Attorney Anderson, was correct. I did not give his yes as far as whether anyone forced him or threatened to waive his exam. I'll give him a couple of moments to try to reconnect. You're pretty much done. Mr. Decker, in the meantime, you sign the waiver form?
Yes.
Okay. I think it's audio.
Is it both of them?
Good enough. Yeah, fine, good enough.
I was invited.
Okay.
I've spoken to him plenty of times, actually. Not today, though.
So Attorney Anderson, what I'll do is,
They're waiting.
I won't enter it into the system until I have him to answer the rest of those questions. It's just whether he was forced or threatened, and he will promise anything, give him anything, and once I get those answers, then I'll officially have him bound over with your permission.
Fine.
Unless he says he's been forced or threatened, then we have to.
I'll stay around for a minute because if he doesn't go on, if I can connect with him by telephone, I'll come back.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Bigum,
Yes,
we're almost done. I just had to ask you a couple questions. Did anyone force you or threaten you to waive your exams today?
I could hear you, ma'am, Your Honor.
Did anyone force you or threaten you to waive your exams today?
No, ma'am.
Did anyone promise you anything for you to waive your exams today?
No,
Okay, I find your waivers to be freely, understandingly, and voluntarily given, so I will have you bound over to Third Circuit Court, that's Frank Murphy Hall of Justice. Your arraignment on the information will be March 16th at 9:00 a.m. Do you have any questions, or if you can't hear all the dates, you can call your attorney to get more details, okay?
okay, I couldn't really hear you. You say, okay, yes.
Okay, Attorney Anderson has indicated he will call you to give you that date of March 16th at 9:00 a.m. for your arraignment on the information.
Okay.
You're all set, I'm gonna log you off. Okay. Whew. He's back.
Okay, Your Honor, thank you.
You're welcome, have a good day.
All right, you too, bye-bye.
Bye. Is it good enough?
That's fine, we call him. But he's not answering this morning, so we can call him anytime.
Okay, Okay, we're on the record as the people of the state of Michigan versus Jacob Levi Goodnow, case 2160055. Mr. Goodnow charged. Mr. Goodnow is charged on this case with count 1, controlled substance delivery, manufacture, cocaine, heroin, or another narcotic less than 50 grams. And count 2, controlled substance delivery, manufacture, cocaine, heroin, or another narcotic less than 50 grams with a habitual offender third offense notice. Mr. Goodnow is also charged with 2355471. Now, in this case, charged with count 1, explosive manufacturing, possession of Molotov cocktail, explosive or incendiary device causing property damage. Count 2, arson, preparation to burn real property. And count 3, explosive manufacture, possession of Molotov cocktail. Both are set for further examination today. Karen says.
Good morning, Your Honor. APA Catherine Wachter, P84150.
And good morning, Your Honor. For the record, James Schloff on behalf of Mr. Goodnow.
Okay, and I do not see Mr. Goodnow in the courtroom.
Your Honor, I'm afraid he's not present. I have had contact with him over the course of the last week, but I can't explain his absence today. I've tried to message and call him. No response.
Okay, anything for the people?
Judge, the people would ask for a habeas to be issued and also a high bond to be set. This is an arson case. My victims are present and ready to testify. They quite frankly, Judge, they fear for their lives. We presented video of the defendant throwing a Molotov cocktail at their home in the middle of the night. And as a result of this, Mrs. Taylor, one of the victims, is afraid to sleep in her home. They feel like this was an attempted murder. And I would just ask that with the capias that the court would set a higher bond than perhaps normal because of the severity of the case and the fear of the victims.
I'm disappointed that he's not here, but I would still ask the court to give a reasonable bond, in both these cases.
Okay, so I see here on Cape Indian 5-5, he failed to appear on September 21st of 2021. And on this other case, this is more recent, Cape 3 case. Is there a recommendation from the people?
Judge, the people would ask for a $250,000 cash bond.
Too many zeros.
I was thinking more about 20,000.
20,000 cash would be fine, thank you. I just asked that it not be a personal bond.
He has had the luxury of having a personal bond. I adjusted his bond on 15, actually, to a personal 5,000, so it will not be a personal.
Okay, thank you.
Cash.
Very good,
Yeah,
Judge.
on both cases.
Thank you, Judge. No, you. What do you need?
Judge, he's got it. Here.
Okay, we are on the record, the people of the state of Michigan versus Javante Bustle, case 2355383. Mr. Bustle is charged with count 1, assault with a dangerous weapon, felonious assault. Count 2, weapons felony firearm. Count 3, assault with a dangerous weapon, felonious assault. Count 4, weapons felony firearm. Count 5, malicious destruction of personal property, $1,000 or more, but less than $20,000. Count 6, weapons felony firearm with an habitual offender second offense notice today that they set for a preliminary examination appearances.
Good morning, Your Honor. Eric Decker, P8593 for the people.
Hey, good morning, Judge David Cripps, P34972, appearing on behalf of Javante Bustle, who's standing to my right. Tell the judge your complete name, please.
Javante Bustle.
Good morning to you. Are both parties ready to proceed today?
No, Your Honor, the completing witness is unavailable.
Anything from defense?
We would make a motion to dismiss without prejudice.
Okay, I will grant that motion as the time is 11:16 and exam is set for 11 o'clock and the complaining witness is not here. You're off the record unless there's anything else.
Nothing further on the applicant.
Okay.
Well, Mr. Bustle, like this.
Luciana? Yes, ma'am. You're on the record as the people of the state of Michigan versus Luciana Johnson, 2355546. Ms. Johnson is charged with 1 count of controlled substances, possession, cocaine, heroin, or another narcotic less than 25 grams. Today they set for a preliminary examination appearances.
Good morning, Your Honor. Eric Decker, P8593 for the people.
And good morning, Your Honor. Neighborhood Defender Service by way of Emily UP 85234 on behalf of Aliyah Johnson.
Ms. Johnson, can you state your full name for the record?
Luciana Number Johnson.
Good morning to everybody. Are you ready to proceed today?
Yes, Your Honor. Preliminary matters.
There is a preliminary matter right now. Your Honor, we received an offer last night for Ms. Johnson to plead to attempt possession with 7411. And then I learned just a little bit ago that that offer will go away if we hold the exam. So I spoke with Ms. Johnson. Ms. Johnson just feels rushed in making a decision, and she would like to the court would allow 1 week. And I would say sooner, but I know that means we're getting, looking at the office again. So I'd ask for 1 week. So she would think about it, talk to her family, since it is a felony. And it's the first time she's been involved in criminal justice in this way, so it's a lot for her.
That's your reason, objection to that?
Considering that the offer was only communicated to the defendant last night, no, we have no.
I think that's fair. I would want time to consider the offer. It's life changing, however she moves forward.
Thank you.
The witnesses are present or the witness.
They are present.
Do you want to bring them in to get a date for exam, just in the event that Ms. Johnson doesn't take the offer?
Yeah.
I know. Good morning.
Morning. Oh, we're on the record, and defense counsel has asked for an adjournment, brief adjournment to allow her client to consider the offer that was given to her client yesterday. So I wanted to make sure that you were available for the next adjourned date in the event we do have to hold the exam.
Okay.
So you said 1 week.
Yep, whatever works for the court. I figured 1 week makes most sense. But
Really,
it
it's
would
how
be
much
harder.
time your client needs to consult inside. Okay. So March 9th, 1 week.
Okay.
Can you all come in at 8:30?
How do you feel about,
That sounds good to me.
okay?
That works.
But,
Thank you. Okay.
If you want to do 8:30,
I can't.
you can't make it 8:30, but so can we do a different time?
On that day, I can put it down for 11 o'clock.
That works too.
Okay, there's another exam scheduled, but whoever comes first, or if it's a, basically it depends on who, we always end up working it out, so we'll do 11 o'clock.
But I won't schedule anything around that, so I can take.
Okay, thank you. So March 9th at 11 o'clock, that work for everybody?
Yep.
Okay, we are on the record. Thank you. We're on the record, this is the people of the state of Michigan versus Cedric Demetrius Rose, 2355343. Mr. Rose is charged with count 1, controlled substance delivery, manufacture cocaine, heroin, or another narcotic, 50 to 449 grams, set for a preliminary examination appearances.
Morning, Your Honor, Eric Decker, PA 5931, people.
Good morning, Your Honor. Good morning to your staff. May it please this honorable court. My name is Taco Perkins, P 55623, appearing on behalf of Mr. Rose, who stands to my right, and I would make a mutual sequestration of any of y'all witnesses. If the officer in charge intends to stay, we do not have an objection to that.
Okay, Mr. Rose, can you state your name for the record first?
Cedric Rhodes.
Okay, and there's no one else in the courtroom? Officer in charge, Officer Rose. There's no exception to Officer Rose in the courtroom. Officer Rose is planning on testifying.
No, Your Honor.
For anyone watching on YouTube, if you may be a witness on this case, it's now time for you to log off. Any other preliminary matters?
No, Your Honor. May we be seated?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Your Honor, I have one. It is, the people now move to admit the drug analysis under MCL 76611B1A as Exhibit 1.
And has the defense counsel had an opportunity to review it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objection?
I absolutely have an objection, but I just have an objection.
Okay.
Just an objection. I don't, well, my concern is to the weight, but without having had an opportunity to review this, having an opportunity to test or weigh the substance independently, as I believe that I've just gotten this lab report today, it was given to me by prosecution this morning. I believe prosecution and the police had just gotten it from the state police. So that would be my objection, because I think it affects the charging.
And Mrs. Decker, is there a statute or anything that you're relying on to enter this?
Oh, yeah, the drug analysis under MCL 7611B1, B1A.
Which allows for the preliminary analysis report to be admitted in preliminary exam?
That's right.
Okay. So I would admit based off of that statute and noted your objection on the.
Thank you.
Anything else?
No, Your Honor, we can, no, we're ready to go.
Okay, you can fight for.
You can call, Officer Richards.
Okay.
I have 2 witnesses here.
For the first, and that's where you.
All right, good morning. Please restate your name for the record. Actually, I'll wait until you get the microphone there.
Wallace Richards.
Okay. So are you employed?
Yes, sir.
Where are you currently employed?
Detroit Police Department.
In what capacity?
Narcotics Enforcement Unit.
Okay. In your position as a police officer in the narcotics unit, what kind of duties do you perform?
Narcotic search warrants.
Okay. So how long have you been in that capacity?
5 years.
Okay. So does that mean that so if you've been there 5 years, that means that you were employed in that capacity on January 26th of 2023 this year?
Yes.
Okay. Did you in fact work on that day?
Yes.
All right. Is there a if I told you the address of 3743 Lawrence Street in the city of Detroit and County of Wayne, does that sound familiar?
Yes.
Okay. Have you ever been to that address?
Yes.
Okay. So is there something significant that happened at that address?
Yes, we executed a narcotic search warrant.
Okay. What happened when you got to, just what happened, just tell me what happened when you got to the scene.
When we got to the location, we advised presence and purpose. No one came to the door, so we forced entry.
What is that? Who did you advise? What happened?
We had non-police search warrant.
Okay. Okay, and you did that at the address?
I'm gonna object this to the weed reference. If it was him, fine, but weed is the hearsay.
Yes, and they just specify who we is.
Okay, let me ask you this, were you alone?
No,
Okay, who were you, how many people were you with?
I don't know the exact amount, but I was with my raid crew.
Okay, can you tell me some of their names
Yes,
that were there that day?
yes.
Okay,
Sergeant Moore, Officer Lindsay, Officer Page, Officer Robson, Officer Mahone, myself, Officer Moss,
were you in full or modified uniform?
full raid uniform.
Okay, but what would be a full raid uniform, what do you have on?
That's what I'm wearing now.
Okay, what you're wearing now, anything on your head?
Yes,
Okay.
a helmet.
Helmet? Okay, are you carrying anything?
Yes, I'm the Halligan man, so I was carrying the Halligan tool.
Okay.
And for the record, you said what you're wearing now, can you state what you're wearing?
A blue polo style shirt, a button-up shirt with police on the back, the police badge on the left side that states narcotics. And, blue cargo pants.
All right, now just a reminder, just tell me what you saw and what you did. So you arrived at the, let's just go back again. You arrived at the address we discussed, and what did you do?
4th Century inside the location
Okay, and then so how did you do that?
with the Halligan as well as my round person.
Okay, what is a Halligan?
This is a tool used to pry open the door.
Okay, so you used that tool.
Yes,
Okay, so then after you did that, what happened?
went inside to assist with clearing the location,
Okay, what does that mean?
looking for bodies and individuals inside.
Did you find any?
Yes,
Okay, how many people did you find inside?
just one.
Okay, was this on the first floor?
Yes,
Okay. And just quickly, you said you only found one person?
yes,
Do you maybe recognize that person that's in the courtroom today?
yes.
Okay, if you could maybe point something out, tell me what they're wearing, point them out to me, please.
Gentleman wearing a gray shirt.
Okay.
Surgical mask, blue surgical mask.
Your Honor, may the record reflect that the officer has identified Mr. Cedric Rose, the defendant?
So requested.
Okay, so after you saw the defendant, what did you do?
After seeing the defendant was detained and continued clearing the location to see if other bodies and other individuals inside.
Okay, and again, did you find any?
No.
Okay, so then after that, then what did you do?
After that, I assisted with searching the location.
Okay. And then so what happened when you started searching the location?
Prior to searching the location, I was advised by
Objection
officers.
as to what he was advised. That would be yours.
And response,
Well, it's not on the, I can rephrase.
okay. The same.
Okay, so so then after that, what did you do? What did you do?
I searched the location and where Mr. Rose was located and detained.
I'm gonna object to that. He's indicating, and I believe what the record going. Understanding that the court can insulate itself from what I was objecting to coming in. Based upon the writing of the report, it's my belief that what Officer Richards is going to testify to is something that someone told him, not what he saw. Now, if he saw it, that's fine. But if he didn't, and he's making that representation, providing that testimony based upon what someone else told him, then that would be hearsay.
Your Honor, he literally was saying this is what he saw.
Okay, everything is what he saw, then it's fine.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Objection, of course, again, he's gonna say what officer told him,
Yeah.
stands, is the same.
Yeah.
Unless you have an exception.
Okay, yeah, this is just, he was just saying what he saw. So continue, what did you see?
Where Mr. Rose was detained at, I searched that area.
Okay.
And pulled some clothing off a hanger.
Okay.
Threw the clothing down.
Mhm.
And observed a sandwich bag containing loose cocaine.
Okay.
I further searched the black pants that I threw down to the ground and recovered another knotted bag, sandwich bag containing loose cocaine rocks.
Okay.
Which one bag totaled 134 loose cocaine rocks. The other bag totaled 111 loose cocaine rocks.
You said rock?
Cocaine rocks.
Okay.
When you say rocks, what do you mean?
Crack cocaine,
What does it look like?
little rocks.
Okay.
for the new garage.
Okay.
And I later placed my recoveries on evidence lock seal number NOR 05748287.
Okay.
That's all I did.
Okay. Nothing further.
Officer Richards, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Nothing like an officer that reads and studies his reports.
Yes.
It's refreshing. Doesn't happen often. But sometimes the narcotics is better. So I'm gonna ask questions. If you don't understand them, let me know. And so I can answer your question you understand. Is that fair?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, you were executing, as you say, you work with a raid crew, is that correct?
Correct, sir.
And that's particularly your designation as how you're employed right now, is that you execute search warrants on behalf of the city of Detroit and the Detroit Police Department.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Along with doing search warrants, what you do in those search warrants, and this was your case, as we described it as being your case, if you were the applicant of the search warrant, you do some investigation, work that investigation, and do some and provide an affidavit to a court to get a search warrant. Is that correct?
Correct, sir.
In this case, it's not your case. You're working and assisting one of your crew members who worked this case up, so to speak. Is that fair?
Correct, sir.
All right. And in that case, but before you do an execution of a search warrant for the purposes of safety of not only yourself, but the people that you're going to interdict or encounter, you do what's called pre-grade interviews. Pre-grade, not in briefing, but pre-grade briefing. Is that fair?
Correct, sir.
All right. And in certain situations, if you have information about some particular individual who's perhaps dangerous, you will fixture yourself with the needs and tools to make sure that everybody's safe in the execution of a search warrant. Is that fair?
Correct, sir.
Now, in this particular situation, you had information and you used information from that search warrant in order to get to this location, particularly an address. Is that correct?
Correct, sir.
And that address, as you described it, was 3743 Lawrence Street.
Correct.
Okay. And you also, during the course of your pre-grade briefing, you had an understanding that you were looking for a particular individual. Was that correct?
I'm not sure of that, sir.
Okay. You weren't, let me ask you. During the course of your pre-raid briefing, there wasn't an individual that you were specifically looking for described as a seller named Harvey Jackson, a black male, light skinned, medium build. You weren't given that information during the course of your pre-raid briefing?
Sir, I really don't recall.
Okay. So as you don't recall, you do this every day.
Yes, yes.
Okay. So me asking you about what happened and the day you do the pre-raid briefing is the same day you do the execution of the search warrant. Is that fair?
Yes, sometimes typically, yes.
And this is not remarkable to you to say that this happened on another date. For all things considered, you would believe that this happened prior or shortly before the execution of this search warrant on January 26th.
Yes.
All right. Oftentimes they happen in a close location, approximate or close to the location you're going to execute the search warrant. Is that?
Could you? I don't understand.
What I'm saying is, oftentimes when you do the pre-raid briefing, sometimes you do it at the base, and sometimes you do it while in the field. Is that fair?
Correct.
Okay. Now, and you indicated that that was not a known individual was not described to you as, or you said you don't remember whether a known individual was described to you during the pre-raid briefing.
Correct, sir.
Okay. So it would be fair to say that you're not saying that no pre-raid briefing was provided or that information was provided. You're just saying you don't recall.
I don't recall a particular individual.
Okay. But it would be fair to say at no time during your pre-raid briefing were you provided an individual by the name of Cedric Rose. Is that correct?
That can be correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, you said that. Oh, let me ask you. You're in your raid gear. Is that how you're attired right now?
Yes.
Is this raid gear that you have on stage?
Yes, but with an outer vest.
without a vest that says police?
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
Do you also have body cams on those desks?
yes, sir.
Okay, did you have body cams on this particular day?
Yes, sir.
Okay, if called to bring, and it indicates on your report where it says BWC up there with the number of 6-digit number, that would be your body cam number?
Yes, sir.
Now, and you recognize, was it operable on that day?
Yes,
All right. So when you went to this location, you, as the Halligan, are the first person to have physical contact with the structure of that home as you put that machine into the door jam. Is that fair?
yes,
Okay. Well, let me take that back. And I'm mixing myself up, not jumbling you up. Someone knocked at the door as you indicated. Is that correct?
I did never indicate that.
In your report, not testimonially, just one moment. When you indicated your report, crew's presence and purpose was announced. That's done by knocking on the door?
It can be done by yelling, knocking on the door as well.
Okay, fair enough. And you didn't say that. I know you didn't earlier, but that's me in my mind. But do you recall what was done? Was it knocking or was it yelling? Was it yelling for the police or was both?
I just recall yelling.
Okay, just a moment. Oh. Okay. Now, in your performance of your duties, do you also have occasion on a tour of duty to author an activity log?
Correct.
Okay. And do you recall doing one on this particular day?
One was done. I don't recall if I done it, but one was done.
Okay. Now, this is a break that took place at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Is that fair? In your report, you say 15-10 hours. That's 3-10 hours. Is that your recollection?
That's correct, sir.
Okay. If that's what I'm reading your report, that's what your memory will refresh. You refresh to that time. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. Now, it's a little different. Would you agree that most of your raids occur in the early morning hours?
No, sir. We can conduct a raid whenever.
I understand the ability and power to conduct a raid, but is it your practice to conduct raids in mornings or afternoons?
It's whenever. It's not practice. It's whenever.
All right, fair enough. Now, and you've been doing this for 5 years?
Correct, sir.
When you said that there was, let's use your words, is presence and purpose announced, how long did that take place? Was it 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 30 seconds?
I'm not sure, sir.
Okay. It was a short period of time?
I can't tell you. It was announced several times.
Okay. Do you know who was doing the announcing? Was it all of you?
I don't recall, sir.
Okay.
You have to check the body cam.
Fair enough. All right. And then once entrance was made, who's the first person in there? It's not you. Would it be the RAM person?
No, sir. The rifles go first.
Okay. Who was the rifle person on this day? If you can remember?
I believe it was Sergeant Moore and Officer Rush.
Now you said that you came into this house. Can you describe it? Is it a 1 story? What type of house is it? One of the 1.5 story type home?
I believe it was a 1.5 story type home.
Okay. And when you come into this house, when the first room you come into, would that be called something that you would call there's a hallway in that room, or there's a little foyer in that room, doorway, is that fair?
I really don't recall.
Okay. Do you recall the first room that you come into, would you qualify that as the living room? If you can recall?
Yes, I recall, yes.
Okay. Now, you in your report, you made a specific effort to describe the room. When you said you saw Mr. Rose being detained. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
I believe I detained him, actually.
Okay. All right. And now, in your report, it indicates that you observed Mr. Rose in the dining room. After Mr. Rose was detained, I continued clearing. Does that suggest to you that you did the detaining or someone else did the detaining?
I could have done it or somebody else could, but I believe you can check my body cam that I detained.
Okay.
and continue searching.
Nonetheless, you saw him.
Yes,
So you saw him in this room called the dining, you called it the dining room, right?
correct, because
Okay.
it set off the kitchen, so I figured it was the dining room.
That was my point. You kind of answered my question. Well, one of them. Where in relation to, when you come in the front of that house, where's that dining room? Is it to the left, to the right? If you can remember.
When you come to the house, when you make the left, that's the living room. So when you turn to your right, straight ahead is the dining room.
Okay. And in that room, you described some type of clothing that you saw, correct?
Yes, it was bags of clothing against a wall, and then it was clothes hanging up on hangers of plywood in the ceiling.
Okay, that's my question. Can you describe what you mean by, is the plywood hanging from the ceiling, or is the plywood the actual ceiling that's just falling down?
No, the ceiling is like, it was gutted out, so the beams of the ceiling,
Okay.
and hangers was hanging over the beams of the ceiling, the clothes.
Okay, and what is the plywood? Can you describe how the plywood was affixed?
Like the beams of the ceiling. So pretty much the plywood, the beams of the ceiling.
Okay.
Because it was open, it's like it was renovating it or something.
You're talking about beams, not
Yes.
necessarily plywood.
Plywood, the beams, yeah.
Okay, like beams,
Mhm.
okay. All right. And there are clothes that are hanging from that,
On the hanger, yes, on the hanger.
Okay. How tall, is that way up in the ceiling, or how low are these beams? I'm trying to get a description of, is it an 8-foot ceiling like most?
I really can't tell you, I'm not good with that. So.
No, not, let me ask you, as you can recall being in that room, was the ceiling, how, you're about 6'2", 6'3"?
6'1".
6'1"?
Mhm.
And with that, as you recall, is a normal ceiling if it was a ceiling in that particular room?
Yes,
Okay. What I'm saying is, there's something holding the hangers down, because if those hangers were hanging from the beams, it'd be way up here that you'd have to reach, is that fair?
yes.
Were they way up there like that you have to reach?
I had to stand on my tippy toes and I just jumped up, threw it up and it fell off.
Okay. And when you saw Mr. Rose, you saw him make no movements or anything at that time, you just saw him standing there, is that correct?
I think he was ordered down prior to me making entry.
Okay.
So he was on, I believe he was on the ground as I made entry.
Okay. But you had no other information to suggest he was doing anything else, or that he was someone who was milling around at all, is that fair?
So I was advised by my partner that he observed him run over there to the clothing area.
Okay, so you had that information that he ran in that direction?
Correct,
Okay, but you didn't have any other information that he did anything else, correct?
correct,
All right. And you had no other information to suggest that he had anything to do with those clothes, is that correct?
correct.
All right. You had no information that he had any connection or ties to that residence, other than, I believe, you found some keys on him?
I didn't find any keys, sir.
Okay. But you had no other information to suggest that, is that correct?
Correct,
That he had connections to that residence, other than his mere presence in that residence?
correct.
All right. In fact, when you came to that location, no, you didn't say it. Okay. So you then went through, and you'd agree that whatever you retrieved, you described as a sum total of 245 rocks, right? Rock cocaine.
Is that the total?
134 plus 111. I quickly did the math, made myself look smart. But what I'm saying is, you had 134 rocks of cocaine that you located.
Correct,
And then you had a second area in which you found 111 rocks of cocaine, is that correct?
correct, in the same black pants.
Okay, there's the same pair of pants?
Yes,
Okay. And those aren't pants that Mr. Rose had on, is that correct?
correct,
And then you didn't make any determination as to whether those pants would even fit Mr. Rose, is that fair?
correct,
All right. You didn't retain those pants for the purposes of investigating them later, is that fair?
that's fair.
And you don't recall anyone else placing anything else on evidence? as it relates to those pants.
Correct.
Now, you went, and those pants, were they hanging on a hanger or were they in one of those bags?
Hanger.
Okay, were they hanging in a way that we typically hang pants? Or were they just, you understand how, what I'm talking about, when you have a hanger and they fold it over, were they like that?
Okay. I don't recall.
Thank you, Officer Richards, I don't understand.
Can you redirect?
No, Your Honor.
Yeah, one more witness, correct?
She said,
That was the OIC.
no, that was the,
Yes.
that was the applicant.
She was.
No, the OIC is Rose.
No, he's not. He's just a tester.
No, but I'm saying, not what you, beforehand, we described that Rose would be the OIC.
I was ugly, well,
It's got nothing to do with, you good, you good.
is she about to testify?
Officer Moss is about to testify. Let's see here. I didn't see anybody.
I did briefly, I thought she was here on, waiting for something else on another case.
Yeah, I don't.
I thought that was Paige at this, in the advance, just, yeah.
Yeah, we're about to call, Officer, Moss.
So now she's restricted from testifying anymore in these proceedings?
Well, I will, for the record, Officer Richard did say that Officer Page was one of the people in the Lorraine crew executing the search warrant for this case.
And Officer Moss.
Well, Officer Page is the applicant.
I don't know that.
No, I understand that, but I'm saying, what we have is an order of sequestration. And the reason why we have that is so that they're not tainted by that. We've had this, sister council and I had this yesterday, but in this case right here, this individual was in the courtroom at a time when they weren't supposed to be.
Who was the officer in charge of the case?
It was somebody, he was filling in, the officer in charge. Let me see here. There's more, yeah, I think it might be more.
Moore is the officer in charge. Officer Rhodes was here filling in. I didn't see anybody else.
But I turned around and looked, but I was in the middle of.
And for the record, Officer Page is back and forth. Yeah,
This officer,
No, Officer Page was back. Yeah.
right, that's what I'm saying, she just stepped in.
Officer Page isn't testifying, it's Officer Moss.
I understand that.
Yeah, I'm just letting you all know she's in the courtroom
Oh, okay.
right now, on the record, just so
I got it,
we
but
won't say anything else that she may not have seen or heard during testimony. I don't know if you want Officer Page to step back out or.
no, what I'm saying is not anything that's related to the testimony, it's the procedure and how we go forward. What is the usual caveat that we have when we have a sequestration? If a person's in here during the course of time when they're not supposed to be, then that person is forever barred throughout the life of a case. It runs with the life of the case, almost like a water bill with property, it runs with the property. And in this situation, that's gonna be a problem. So I'm just making a note, he doesn't intend to call her today, but I think the record should reflect that.
Okay. Officer Moss.
Officer Moss.
Just to clarify the record, this is AKA Cat Watcher. Neither Mr. Decker nor I were aware that Officer Page was in here. We certainly wouldn't have allowed it had we been aware. I just want the record clear on that.
I don't know why she was here, but
I don't, yeah. Okay.
And I'm gonna say the prosecution did it.
Yeah, I did
You
not
all
even
of
see
you all
her.
had your back to Officer Page.
Yes.
And I didn't connect that because I've been listening to testimony that she was one of the people in the raid crew and sitting in the courtroom. So, and I don't know what else, what she was scared of, her involvement in the case, so.
Okay, yeah, then again, I had no idea that she was, people call Officer Moss.
Officer Ross, good morning. Good morning. Step to the court reporter, then I'll swear you in. Oh, great. Swear to tell the truth, and nothing but the truth. Have a seat, just make sure you speak up. When is ready, Mr. Becker?
Okay. Please restate your name for the record.
Police Officer Brittany Moss.
If you could come as close as you possibly can to that microphone, that'd be great. Again, please.
Police Officer Brittany Moss.
Okay, so are you currently employed?
Yes, sir.
Where are you currently employed?
With the city of Detroit,
Okay, and in what capacity?
police officer.
Police officer? Do you, in your capacity as a police officer, what are your duties?
Currently,
Yeah.
a lot of patrol, I assist narcotics, I assist different units within the department.
Now, so how long have you been with the police department?
6.5 years.
All right, so that means that, based on that you were working, so you were employed by the police department on January 26th of 2023 this year?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did you in fact work on that day?
Yes, sir.
All right, if I was gonna give you the address of 3743 Lawrence in the city of Detroit and County of Wayne, does that sound familiar?
That was Lawrence, correct?
Yes, Lawrence.
Yes.
Does that sound familiar?
Yes.
Okay, why does that sound familiar?
I was working that day assisting narcotics with the execution of a search warrant.
Okay, so, so when you were, now what kind, when you do that, what kind of things do you do?
It depends on what I'm assigned to this particular day. I was assigned to the entry team.
Okay, so when you arrived at the location, what did you do?
We were advised that.
Objection as to what they were advised, and also I would ask for some background as to who we are.
Okay, I apologize. I can rephrase.
Okay.
Let's just go back. So were you working alone on that day when you executed the search warrant?
No, sir.
Okay, were you with a partner?
I was with a raid crew, a narcotics raid crew.
Okay, do you remember how many people were on that crew that day?
I can't tell you an exact number.
Okay, could you give me some of the names of the people that you were with?
Sergeant Moore, Officer Rosen, Officer Richards, Officer Page, and I believe Officer Mahone was there, myself.
Okay, so now were you in a full or modified uniform?
Yes, sir.
What kind of uniform were you in?
It was modified.
Modified?
Yes.
Could you describe what you were wearing?
Myself, I was wearing a hoodie with a outer carrier vest that had police across the front, and the back. And the rest of my gear, my police belt, everything else was pretty much black.
Okay, let's go back to the, when you arrived at the location. When you arrived at the location, what did you do?
When we arrived to the location, I exited the raid van because I was advised that.
Objection as to what she advised.
There's no exception to the hearsay exception. It was. Okay.
Okay, what she was doing was,
Okay.
Just advance okay, so, do you understand?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
So when I exited the raid van, I immediately went to a silver Dodge Journey that was parked outside of the location.
Okay, so then after that, what did you do?
After I investigated the person that was inside, I helped assist with
If you could, when you say you investigated a person inside,
Yes,
let's just say, when you entered the location, did you see anyone?
when I entered,
When you entered the location, did you see any people?
My objection is that I think it's leading, because.
This year, okay.
Okay, I apologize.
so,
That was your objection?
No, maybe I'm wrong, but I thought Officer Moss was testifying as to the person inside the car.
Right.
And if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong, but.
Let me step back, I apologize, maybe I jumped ahead there, that's my fault. Okay, so you're talking about the car, right?
yes.
Okay, so what happened with the car?
I investigated the driver,
Okay, then what happened?
and then I released her.
Okay, so then after that, what happened?
I went to the front porch of the location to help narcotics, with the search.
Okay, so what did you do after that?
When I was on the front porch, I was with Mr. Rose, and I recovered some keys out of his front pocket.
Okay, now let me just quickly ask you, so when you say Mr. Rose, is there a possibility that maybe he's in this courtroom here today?
Yes, sir.
Okay, do you maybe recognize him?
Yes.
Okay, could you maybe tell me something that he's wearing, point him out to me, please?
He has on a blue mask with I believe that's a gray shirt, and possibly black shoes and pants.
Okay, I'll let the record reflect that the officer has identified the defendant, Cedric Rose. Okay, so then after you found, so when you encountered the defendant, then what did you do?
I searched his pockets.
Okay, did you find anything?
Yes,
What'd you find?
set keys.
We say a set of keys, how many keys?
I believe there were 2 in there.
2? Okay, so what did you do when you found the keys?
I tested them for them, to see if they accessed the front door
Okay, how do you test them?
by attempting to unlock the front door.
Okay, and now did you just do it with the front door?
No.
Okay,
So I, attempted the front security grate,
okay,
and I noticed that, there was a lock on the main door.
mhm,
So, and I noticed that there was also a smaller key on the set of keys.
mhm,
So I tested that smaller key on the lock that was on the main door.
okay. So just to sum up, which locks did the keys unlock?
Objection, have to be, you didn't say that.
Oh.
You said you tested.
I apologize. But when you tested the keys, what was the result?
They were successful.
They were successful?
Yes, meaning that, when I turned the lock, the security grate saw the lock come in and come out, go
Okay.
out. And then I tested the smaller key on the lock that was on the main door.
Did you do anything else after that?
No, there was evidence.
Okay. Nothing further.
Good afternoon, Officer Moss.
I don't know.
I'm gonna ask you some questions. If you don't understand me, let me know so I can give you a question you understand. Is that fair?
Yes, sir.
Now, you said that you were part of a raid crew. Is this your regular raid crew that you work with?
No,
Are you typically assigned to another raid crew or to another function in the Detroit Police Department?
another function within the Detroit Police Department.
And what would that be?
On that particular date, I was assigned to vice enforcement.
And were you, on that particular day, you were assigned to vice enforcement, how did you find your way to this raid crew?
Well, they needed assistance.
And you've worked with raid crews before?
Yes, sir.
Have you worked with this raid crew?
Yes, sir.
All right. And is that something that you are connected within the same umbrella or department of the Detroit Police?
Yes, sir.
Vice and narcotics are connected in that area, huh?
Yes, under organized crime.
How long have you been practicing performing your duties as a law enforcement officer?
For 6.5 years.
And then in total with the Detroit Police Department?
Yes.
Any military prior to that?
No, sir.
Okay, so your training comes just from what you've gotten from the academy and whatever training you've received from the Detroit Police Department, as far as your ability to investigate, conduct yourself as law enforcement.
Yes, sir.
Now, you were, working on this particular day with this raid group. When you got out of the van, you said that you went straight to a Dodge Journey, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
You went to that Dodge Journey and you encountered a black female, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And you talked to that black female, you pulled that black female out of the car, did you not?
Yes, sir.
You searched that black female.
Yes, sir.
You didn't find any narcotics on that black female.
Correct.
All right. And you released that black female.
Correct.
Did you ask her any questions? Did you interrogate her?
I didn't interrogate her.
Okay.
No.
Did you ask her any questions?
I asked her why she was there.
Okay. And when you released her, you described an individual that you described in court today as Mr. Rose, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And you said that you encountered him on the porch of that house. Is that correct?
Well, the first time I saw him was as I was approaching the Dodge Journey.
Understood. But I'm saying when you encountered him physically, face to face, you encountered him on the front porch of that house?
Yes.
When you encountered him on the front porch of that house, you didn't question him or interrogate him at that time, did you?
No, sir.
Okay. And you said that you searched him yourself, did you not?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And during the course of that search, you retrieved two keys? Or would it be fair to say, if your report says a set of keys, set of 3 keys on there, would that be more accurate than the 2 keys that you testified?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. And one you described as a silver key that you used to unlock the deadbolt lock?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And then you described another smaller key that went on to another lock somewhere on that door, or in that door area.
Yes.
All right. Now, when you were searching him, you didn't find any narcotics or anything on his possession, is that correct?
Correct.
All right. And during the course of searching him, you recognized that he did not have an address that's associated with that particular 3743 Lawrence address, is that correct?
Well, for myself, I didn't look for anything on that person on his person that specifically said that address.
Okay. And you have no information that suggests that he lives at that particular address, is that correct?
Correct.
All right. Now, you were part of when you execute a search warrant, you're part of you conduct a pre-raid briefing, do you not?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you were part of that pre-raid briefing, were you not?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did that happen at the base or did it happen in the field?
I believe at our base.
Okay. And usually that happens, let me ask you, typically it happens in a post time to the execution of the search warrant, is that fair?
Right before.
Okay. And in this time, as you recall this event, it happened right before you executed the search. Or
yes.
You're part of the team that executed the search.
Yes.
All right. Now, who's doing the pre-raid surveillance?
On that particular day, I can't recall.
It wasn't you?
No, sir.
Okay. You're in the van.
Yes, sir.
When you talk about pre-raid surveillance, when I say pre-raid surveillance, does that suggest to you to be someone who's not in the van and out there in the eyesight of that particular location?
Yes.
Okay. Have you ever done that pre-raid surveillance?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now, when you did the pre-raid briefing, you typically learn something about the residents, something about what you're looking for, and something about whom you're looking for. Is that fair?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you would recall that during that course of that pre-raid briefing, you had information and you learned of information that you were looking for a specific seller by the name of Harvey Jackson, a black male, Lincolnville, light complexion. Is that fair?
That I do not recall.
Okay. But you do not recall it, but you're not saying that didn't occur or you didn't receive that information, you just don't recall it today. Is that fair?
Correct. It's possible it may have been said, it's possible that it may have not.
When you are in this location or when you're at that location, is Mr. Rose the only individual that you encountered at that location?
Outside of the female that was in the Dodge Journey, yes.
Okay. In fact, you saw when you came to that location, was that black female in the car or was she coming from that location? That's on your approach.
So if I remember correctly, I saw her entering her vehicle.
Okay. You didn't, as you're seeing her enter her vehicle, did that lead you to believe in any particular direction from which she came?
Can you repeat that?
So do you have any particular belief based upon her getting in that car as to where she was coming from what you saw?
From what I saw, no.
Okay. When you saw the first time, I think the questions were, when you were at that location, when you approached that location, you initially saw an individual, you described this individual who sits next to me as Mr. Rose, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, and you saw that, it would be your testimony that you saw that individual on the front porch when you approached that location, but then going into the house, is that correct?
Say that, can you repeat? I'm sorry.
Let me ask you, when you first got to that location, you initially saw Mr. Rose on that front porch, is that correct?
No, so when I first arrived to the location and I exited the van, as I was approaching the Dodge Journey, I saw Mr. Rose inside of the house at the front door, and we made eye contact with each other. And once that happened, he attempted to close the front door and went to the rear of the location. Well, started moving towards the rear of the location inside.
Okay, so in his attempt to close the front door, would that suggest that he did not close the front door?
Yes, it was not shut all the way.
Okay, so when the door was closed partially, at that point, you saw your great crew go into that house, is that correct?
From that point, I advised them, and my focus was the Dodge Journey.
Right, but as you can hear, you're still hearing,
Yes.
because when you're out there investigating, you're trying to use all your faculties, not only so that you can ensure you're safe, but others are safe, fair enough?
Correct.
You're doing that on this particular day.
Correct.
And you were listening and you could make observations that when you made that statement to the rest of your crew, they ran up on that porch and went in the house, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, and they're acting in due dispatch for the purpose of their own safety and others, is that fair?
Well, they were entering the location because of the search warrant.
Right, but they're entering with swiftness because of what you said, is that fair?
I would say.
Okay.
Possibly.
And when you would say possibly, that's because of what you might think, not necessarily what they're thinking. Is that fair?
Yes.
Okay, and that's what you would probably do based upon that you had received that information, and that's why you make that suggestion as part of your testimony.
Yes.
And at that point, the rest of your team, or at least some of that team, went into that location, and ultimately, when you were done talking to this young lady, this black female, you encountered Mr. Rose on the front porch.
Yes, sir.
All right. Given the fact that the door was not closed entirely, there was no reason to have to break open anything on that house. Is that fair?
Well, the security grate was still closed.
Okay.
And he attempted to shut the main door.
Okay. But you can still see inside the interior of the residence?
Yes.
Okay. So the security door was never open?
Not from my observation.
Not from your observation?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. I don't have anything. Hold on. Thank you, Officer Marshall.
No, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Are you ready for?
The people motion for, bind over to circuit court. The question of fact has been established and we reserve time for argument.
Mayor Young? All they've indicated is that Mr. Rose is at a location, has keys to that location, not any, the fact that he has the keys that open that door don't establish anything. He's not established any residency at that location. No one's indicated that he may have gone towards some area where this other officer found, not in plain view, these other narcotics. But there's no one and no testimony to suggest that Mr. Rose had anything to do with those items. Furthermore, there's no testimony. So if you wanted to make some, draw some conclusions, which the court can reasonably draw, there's nothing to draw a conclusion from the young lady who was investigated out of that house, who was searched and didn't have any narcotics. So there's nothing here other than a person's presence at a location who is not associated with that location other than presence and the possession of some keys. So that's it, Your Honor. So to the extent that that would be probable cause, I think it's failing here. So I'd ask the court to not find over.
Mr. Devon?
Your Honor, the people disagree with the assessment of the defense counsel. It seems as though it's not just some mere fact that the defendant was actually alone in the house. It's not just some mere, and it seems like we're downplaying the idea of someone possessing keys to a particular residence. Seems to me like any time someone gets an apartment, someone goes and gets a hotel room, the way that you signify that that person has the ability to enter those places is by handing over the keys. If you close on a house, you get the keys. So that would then therefore give us the idea that there is a possession, there is control over what's going on. The keys, as we heard from the officers, did open the security gate and also open the padlock that was on the door. And he was alone in the house with drugs and with the keys, and that sounds to me like this is ready for the trier of fact and ready to be found over to circuit.
Okay. Find some issues here. One, establishing that there was a connection here to that address of 3743 Lawrence to show ownership, residency, or something outside of possession of keys. That did work. I did not hear any testimony that the officers ascertained that the respondent owned the house or lived there or provided or found during that search warrant mail, ID, or anything suggesting or establishing that he lived at that location or that he owned it. I have keys to my parents' house, my brother's house, my grandfather's house, my best friend's parents' house. I don't live in any of those places. I live at home. My second issue comes to possession. So constructive possession is enough to establish that someone had in there on their person or knew or had, not physical control, but had knowledge of it and the ability to exercise control over whatever item, in this case, it would be the drugs. However, I'm troubled with the testimony of the first officer who did not state the proximity to Mr. Rose, the pants that were hanging from the beams to Ms. Rose. And I'm not sure enough has been established to show, even once, let's say that ownership, residency, there was no connection, once in the house, that Mr. Rose had knowledge that those drugs were in those cans that were hanging in the beams of the house, that Mr. Rose did not have on his person. And there's nothing establishing that Mr. Rose owned those cans. And then there's nothing that says that he lived there other than, or owned the house, other than keys that were, which to me is not enough to establish probable cause for this case. So I'm going to dismiss for insufficient evidence on both counts, or all counts. Actually, one count. At the 1:30, Ms. Phelps, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How are you?
We are fine. How you doing?
I'm okay. I just got an email from Mr. Moxie and Ms. Narsithian, and I think that they're gonna try to log on if you're available, just to address another issue that has come up with our 130.
Oh, Lord, we just got Mr. Davidson transferred over too. Okay, huh?
A puppy.
Oh yeah, I moved the camera because of that closet, but there's my dog.